You were professor.
Yeah. Healthcare policy, yeah. In the medical school.
Which medical school?
Harvard.
To go from a professor of healthcare policy at Harvard Medical School to severe aphasia.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Oh, yes, good.
Aphasia ends up impacting a person's life tremendously. Not only does the person have trouble speaking, understanding what somebody's saying to them, the end result of this is that it makes somebody very socially isolated. They have a hard time trying to have conversations with people, getting out of the house and being social. So this affects not just their ability to speak, but their entire life.
I didn't really want to talk to people at first. You know, it was probably like a month or two. Even friends, and then like I didn't want to see anybody, and it's like, you know, we went to a couple parties, like, you know, and all the people they didn't know how to take me, you know, so it's just like.
Mentally, you can process what you're thinking, but you can't verbalize the information, and it's really frustrating. You get depressed because you're thinking like, oh my God, you know, I can't, you know, communicate, you know, these things.
When you're developing a change in your personality, let's say, or, you know, you're going to make this big change, what you want to be, and you want to change the company or whatever job you had, I know that's a hard change, but that's an easier change than what somebody with aphasia has to go through, because you've lost a section of who you used to be. And to process through that is the harder part.
When someone goes through a life-altering experience and has aphasia, that disrupts their image of themselves, their functioning in the world, their hopes, their dreams, and that can cause significant mental health impacts for someone. They can feel very depressed. They have to grieve what they lost. They have to recover a new sense of purpose and meaning in their life. And that comes with a lot of strong feelings. It can be very anxious, it can be very depressed, it can be very sad, it can be very lonely as well.
Did you have to stop teaching? Did you have to stop working?
Yes.
How was that?
Nah.
To be taken out of the prime of your career and to not have what you've worked so hard for. To be around Ed more, I see how small his world has become in some ways, and that's hard even for me to see.
3 years after my stroke, the dean said he didn't think it's possible, and I am depressed.
The dean was simply saying, the policy is you have 3 years, and if you can't come back to the role after 3 years, you have to give up the position.
Yeah.
And it was that realization that kind of triggered Deb's identity crisis.
I don't have words to describe it. It's really I'm a lecturer, a teacher, the professor. It's so central.
It can be really hard to ask for help for our loved one or even for ourselves. And so that can be a real barrier. But, you know, unable to do the things that you want to do and lacking energy, wanting to sleep all the time, feeling hopeless. And those are all signs that someone's really struggling with their mental health.
One of the things that's come into play in the last few years is the effort to, as best we can, screen everybody right when they arrive at inpatient rehab for signs of depression. And, you know, if a person goes above the screening threshold, that's immediately brought to the attention of the nursing staff and the providers on staff to get them connected with psychology and psychiatry services right on site.
When you met other people with aphasia And you met the groups. What was that like?
All right. At the same time, but cry. Because this one, all right. But, all right, you and the people. Oh, okay. Good.
It sounds like it was mixed emotions. It was sad.
Yeah, sad, but
Helpful? Or
yeah,
some way?
Yeah.
So when you saw a group of people with aphasia, they cried or you cried?
Yeah, me, you, yeah.
I felt as if, especially after going to BU, after I started going and becoming part of that family, that I gathered that I was in good hands.
People didn't care how fast he spoke. He didn't have to feel awkward because they'd say, it's okay, it'll come.
Cried.
You
Somebody would cry.
Okay.
Yeah, my God.
And after you cried?
Yeah, that's all right. I don't know.
I wish I had your attitude.
But this is very good. Yeah.
There are several ways to mitigate social isolation and depression. Having a family network seems to be the biggest predictor of the extent to which someone will recover. But if you don't have a family member or a supportive network around you, there are other avenues that are available. There are several organizations offering online groups where you can try to meet people who have similar trouble communicating and learn to practice your communication skills. There's work that's being done here at BU as well as in other places that the mere process of interacting with another person gets the brain going in terms of not just practicing to speech, but the social engagement is also good for the brain.
You felt you were grieving. Yeah. You were sad. Maybe you were angry. Yeah. And yet you keep going.
This.
What gives you the strength?
This.
This.
Yes.
Your brain.
Yeah.
Your faith.
This. Yeah. Curtis.
Running.
He nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, work it out. Yeah. It kills stroke, brain.
Antidepressant?
Yes. Yeah. Well, good.
So if Deb's purpose and meaning was in being a professor, what does that really mean? Well, that means creating and sharing knowledge. Well, are there other ways to create and share knowledge that's different?
I am going to write the book.
In some ways, her decision to write the book at the beginning was really more of a, screw you, I'm an academic and academics write books and I'll show you I can still do it.
Now, this new video game called Aphasia is getting real really quick. In the game, I now need to decide who to talk to first. But guess what? My character can't talk anymore. Comedy for me was wonderful because when I'm writing what's supposed to be a normal sentence, I become frustrated by that because I'm not getting the sentence correct how it should be. But when I'm doing comedy, it just gives you freedom for me. And maybe that's poetry, maybe that's other things, maybe that's art for people with aphasia. But those things are really impactful because for me, it was incredibly helpful because I could start sitting there being like, I'm gonna make a joke about aphasia now. Like, I'm gonna find something fun to play with this.
Right.
Because for me, it makes it a lot better. I feel a lot better.
Do you think of aphasia as just another project that you have to work on?
Pretty much, yeah. Run and gun. I like to go. That's what I like to do. I like to work with furniture, with painting, with whatever. And I'd like to bike. I'd like to do things. I mean, mostly I'd like to go sailing.
Make your wins. Like you can drive, you can write, You can exercise, you can bowl, like, you know how to watch TV, you understand what you're watching. Like, think about the wins, not so much the losses, and we'll figure everything else out. And you just gotta practice and be patient.
What I would like every person who is diagnosed with aphasia to know is that yes, the stroke was a very bad incident that happened, but the worst is behind you. And while the journey forward is quite difficult, it's a positive journey because the brain has a phenomenal ability to repair itself, to recover the function it's lost, and it does it in very efficient ways. So yes, you will see a lot of improvement in your ability to speak, to communicate, to socialize, to interact over time. And some days it'll feel like it's moving really fast, whereas other days it would feel like a wall. But the important thing to remember is to never give up.
There are good times too. And like life, it's precious, you know.
Hard to keep my